I'm being outspoken. I'm saying things that I think we all think, but the everyday citizen, the everyday resident of Bridgeport is not gonna say.
Bullets and bats.
You heating up, Lavish?
Tell me what it's about.
Y'all be thinking I'm dope.
Basically, the corruption with the ballot stuffing and just the political BS in Bridgeport. I speak on myself, you know, getting into the political field. And I also speak on like the new candidates like you know, Lamont Daniels, who is not new to Bridgeport, but he's a new face as far as politically and being a prominent person in the city. So like I said, it's like education for people who probably don't want to sit through a class. Like you could listen to the song and learn about Bridgeport instantly.
Issues go aside when you win by a number of almost 300 votes, 274 votes on the machines, with an expectation that we will win overwhelmingly when all the votes are counted.
Politicians saw them crooked from beginning. They seem like those in City Hall do the most sinning. I know that's why they winning. Only this the ninth inning.
So even that, like the first couple lines, I'm a Bridgeport politician, so I'm crooked from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, it seems like those in City Hall do the most sinning. You know, I personally believe we won't be able to bring down even the violence, even like the street crimes, if we can't even take care of what's going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So if the higher ups is committing crimes, how could they even talk about the people in the street that's committing crimes, and more than likely they're committing crimes just to put food on the table? You know, most of the people that's higher up already established, already wealthy, and they're just money hungry and greedy. So, you know, that
Former Chief of Police A.J. Perez.
There you go. And I don't know if you know, I made a song before he did his prison time and got arrested, and it was called "You About to Lose Your Job." So a lot of the things that I've been saying, it's coming to fruition, and I'm being outspoken. I'm saying things that I think we all think, but the everyday citizen, the everyday resident of Bridgeport is not gonna say. For even fear that they may lose their job. See, a lot of people in my position, or those who have teachers and the activists and the program runners, they're being funded by the politicians. So they're not gonna say somebody's wrong, because then they will never get funded again. Me being a self-employed, I just do music. I got my clothing line, Walk 19, Everybody Hates Grits tees. Nobody could fire me. You know what I'm saying? So I could be with them today, and tomorrow I could be talking against them, and they can't do nothing about it.
We pair good together, right?
Right.
So you did a couple songs about Bridgeport and very politically involved and such. What about personal? What kind of songs have you run? Go ahead, you can run it now. Go ahead.
Personal. So this one is called Need Me. So it's the most personal to me because it's speaking on my children, which I try not to mix my children with the politics or anything street related that I do. But my daughter is autistic. She's 6 years old. Her name is Jonice. And my son, Niger, is 16. And he's a football player, high school football player, great football player. And, you know, like I said, I try not to mix them. Even though when I did like the protesting, even when I crossed the highway in Norwalk, they came on the highway with me. But like I said, I try not to mix them into whatever is going on. So this is the most personal. It's called Need Me, and it's kind of speaking on them as well as their mother, who's like one of my biggest supporters and, you know, always there with me. So yeah, I just basically explained, like, you know, her being autistic, I feel like family and friends don't treat her the same way as they probably treat other people in the family or other people, you know, involved around me. So I speak on that. And even my son, when I was 16, I was in the gangs and stuff. So I'm just speaking on him not going the same route that I went, you know?
So you're talking about gangs. You've had a different life than you have today. Tell us a little bit about your past and what you're trying to do.
So I would say about early 2000, in high school, my high school years, I joined the Bloods, the Blood Gang. And from there, you know, I always was an athlete, still was in school. I always had perfect attendance, was good in school, but you know, when I got out of school, I got into a lot of like gang activity, fighting, eventually, you know, shootings, a lot of things that we, you know, that you cover on the news every day in Bridgeport. By then, everything caught up to me. I did 4 years in prison, you know, had numerous charges. Everybody could look them up. And,
the thing that stood out to me the most was your post on Facebook. You said something about a bad day in freedom is better than the best day in prison.
100%.
Tell me about that.
Because, you know, in prison, it's nowhere to be happy, it's nowhere to have fun, but you know, you get immune to it being there for several years. So you do have days where you might smile and laugh and carry on amongst your dorm or your tier people or your cellies, your cellmate and stuff like that. But I feel like I would never want to be there again. You know, I've been free for 16 years, caught a little petty charges in these 16 years, but nothing where I'm away for a long amount of time. And you know, being that I have children made it that I don't go back. But while I was there, like I said, being free, my darkest days in these 16 years, I've been homeless. I've got shot in these 16 years. I've lost a lot of money. I've lost, you know, women that was dear to me. Relationships have ended. Relatives and friends have passed away, have been killed amongst, you know, Connecticut, Bridgeport, Stamford, Norwalk. So those days, no matter how down, how tearful I could get, I would take them days again over being in that cell.
What's the future for Joe Gritz?
Hey, I'm a multitasker, so it's like I still want to involve myself in politics. I still want to run for city council for the North End district, but I want to continue this music. I'm going on tours. I'm meeting a lot of prominent people. This is the original gift I had as a child. You know, politics came a little later. I'm always going to be an activist. That's something that's just natural. If something happens tomorrow, I'm right there, you know, on the front line. I mean, you know, even how we introduced each other together, maybe not on the greatest of terms, but that's what I do, you know? I stand for the voiceless.
There was another city council person who I went head to head with, and we're friends now. It's passion. That's what it is. It's passion.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Out, you had a passion for telling the story. And
basically, like I said, with the activism, I speak for the voiceless. So certain things that maybe somebody want to get across to you that they're not, I'll address you. So it's never like, I wouldn't say it's personal. It's never personal.
Right.
I just stand for my people and I stand for Bridgeport. So when I feel like something might look a little wrong or something gets crossed in a different way, then I'm gonna address it. But you know, like I said, at the end of the day, we both have quote unquote a job to do. I want you to continue to do your job. You know, I check your page, I check your platform more than I don't want to speak to other platforms,
That's
you know,
fine.
but you know, the other platforms and I actually like yours better because it's more detailed and it's more in depth. It's not a 2-minute clip and it stays up there. So 5 months from now, we could go back and be like, you know, so, you know, that's that when it comes to that.
You gonna be doing anything here locally where people can catch you?
Oh yeah. Well, the most recent thing is the 6 in Waterbury. I'm performing, and then I'm doing little shows in like Orange, Connecticut, Providence, Rhode Island. But at the end of the month, I'm going on a tour with an artist by the name of Lebo. He's not from Connecticut, and he's going everywhere. Okay. Washington, California. Right. I'll be starting off in Brooklyn, New York, Atlanta, and then I'm going through Florida, Tampa, Orlando, and Miami. So that's the most major things. And like I said, I'm still gonna involve myself with politics. I know we got a state rep run coming up. We have different, you know, things that's gonna come. Early voting just came into place. So I'm gonna continue to involve myself, even with the Board of Education, with this 6 schools closing. I've been at the meetings. You know, I'm sitting there, I'm standing there, and I'm voicing my opinion on social media. So none of that's gonna change. And I'm gonna just continue to be grits.
Okay.
And I got my, my clothing line. Everybody could get that. Walk 19 Clothing on Instagram at Walk 19 Clothing. And then, me is just Joe Grits. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Joe Grits. I don't put nothing extra, JoeGrits. But when you try to follow me for the music on Spotify, Apple Music, and things like that, you gotta put a $sign. So it's Joe.
We're gonna put all the contact lists.
Yeah, it'd be right
links and
here.
everything right below.
JoeGrit. So that's it, man. I'm gonna stay busy and being that it's been probably a year now that me and you have commended our little issues and stuff like that, I'm here. So I'm always gonna be here if I know this, this guy give you a little trouble with the in-depth of what's going on with the city, but I'm actually, me and him had our issues.
Right.
And we've I don't want to say mended, but we've come to where we could talk. Before we couldn't have no conversation. So my thing where a lot of people didn't understand why they start seeing us around each other, I want to be the middleman between the streets and him.
That's great.
But even in that, and I hope I could even do that for you, where maybe I could align where he does give you more information on what's going on, because I felt like that was wrong. I understand that certain stuff you have to go through your ways just to find out, who got killed on that street or something, and that's crazy.
Yeah. So, but regardless of that, I've gone through 4 chiefs of police in Bridgeport already. I'll go through 4 more. So, they think, whatever, but we're still gonna be here. We didn't, when they took the radios away, we weren't closed in a month like it was predicted. So, just like you, I'm not going anywhere.
Bridgeport is definitely a movie that is waiting to happen.